Airtel Money. Simple, secure, borderless.
Hello and good evening once again. Thank you for joining us at the UBC News Tonight 10 o'clock edition. My name is Wadulo Marl Arnold, and without further ado, these are tonight's top stories. In our headlines tonight, the Archbishop NYAMWAMBA to be buried this Monday. Prime Minister Nabanja stops Nabingolo Kakabara road contractor over shoddy work. Legislators want government to fund gender-based violence victims' shelters. And Gender Minister warns against fake child adoption. All these in our news tonight. Once again, thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. The Orthodox Church in Uganda has this Sunday held prayers for Metropolitan NYAMWAMBA, who passed away a week ago in Greece. The Archbishop Metropolitan NYAMWAMBA is set to be buried this Monday at the church's premises at Namwona, a Kampala suburb. However, the Orthodox has some of the rare traditions when it comes to burials, and they will be followed while burying Wanga.
The Orthodox faith was introduced in Uganda in 1919. The worshipping and practices of the Orthodox Church is slightly similar to that of other religions, especially the Roman Catholic Church. But when it comes to the traditions of burial, the Orthodox don't believe in covering the entire body in the coffin, but instead they leave it open, representing the openness the Orthodox believe in. This tradition has been applied on the fallen Archbishop Metropolitan NYAMWAMBA.
We are even supposed to put off the flag, but the flag is there just to honor him. If as an official value, if it was an unofficial value, the flag couldn't be here, and you could see him dressed with his shoes and all his vestment. That is our tradition.
They also bury the church leaders in their attires, believing that one continues to proclaim the word of God even if he or she is dead. And it's the reason their fallen archbishop is donned in the archbishop attires.
And will remain like that. When I die myself, I'll put on my vestment, and I will be buried within the vestment. I will dress as a priest, celebrating a liturgy. So the bishop there is lying as has been putting on when celebrating a liturgy, with hope that we shall continue celebrating the liturgy in heaven. So that is also a custom. We don't use other crosses, we don't wrap the person, but we leave him to lie as if he's sleeping. That's also very important.
The Orthodox also don't use the word dead as opposed to other religions, but for them they prefer the word sleeping, believing that one will resurrect sometimes to come.
With us, we believe that a person who doesn't die, but he sleeps. He sleeps because we know time will come and he will wake up.
This Sunday, prayers were held for the fallen Archbishop Metropolitan NYAMWAMBA ahead of the burial tomorrow, Monday. The prayers were led by the Archbishop of the Orthodox Church of Kenya, Makarios. He urged the government officials to work closely with the church for harmony.
I want to say this in front of all the people, that we need to work more closely, because both of us, church and state, we are for the people. And we want to keep the people united. We want to keep national integrity, national unity, national peace among our people. This is our message as church leaders. But at the same time, this is the same message from the leaders of the nation. So let us work together.
Government was represented by the Attorney General Chirwoya Chiwanuka. He says the government recognizes the role played by the fallen Archbishop, although he has been a critic of the government.
The Archbishop has at times been a fervent critic of the NRM government, and he's been respected for that. And his word has been taken for what it is. What has been good out of it has been taken. What the government doesn't agree with has been dropped. But such was his right, and such was who he was. And that is what the government respects. And that is why the government is here, and has been here, and will remain here with this church, because for the truth, we want to hear the truth.
The Lord Mayor of Kampala Capital City Authority, Elias Lukwago, described the fallen Archbishop as a fountain of wisdom.
It's a terrible loss. We are here to celebrate a great man, a great leader, a fountain of wisdom, a patriarch, a fervent voice for truth and justice, for respect for human dignity, respect for the values of humanity, and a person who has molded some of us. He's been a great friend to me. We shall dearly miss him.
Luanga died last week from Greece and will be buried tomorrow on Monday at the headquarters of the Orthodox Church in Namgona, Kampala. Philip Aguta, UBC News in Kampala.
Development, the Prime Minister Robin Nabanja has commissioned MPANGA Bridge in Chegegwa District. The bridge connects Kabambiro Town Council to KAMWENGE town. Now Nabanja said that the bridge will ease farmers' transportation of produce to markets. The bridge construction cost government over 9 billion shillings and was constructed by AMPAS Technical Services under supervision of UNRA. The Premier Nabanja also toured Nabingola Kakabara Road, where she stopped a contractor from proceeding due to noticeable shoddy work. And these are the details.
Premier Robin Nabanja has commissioned MPANGA Bridge that connects Kabambiro Town Council to KAMWENGE Town. This was during her maiden tour of the area as Prime Minister of Uganda.
On behalf of NRM government, on behalf of the President of the Republic of Uganda, allow me to commission this bridge. This bridge is called MPANGA Bridge. Remember, this place was impassable. Now, NRM ekola nnyo bannange. Abantu batambuze ebirime, buli kimu kitambule, Museveni abeewo, NRM ekola.
While on a working visit to Chegegwa District, Premier Nabanja held a meeting with district leadership over delayed and shoddy work of Nabingola Kakabara Road.
I can see you are putting money in some areas. Really? Really?
According to the judgment.
No, okwenda amagoba maji ojja kusubwa kukola na government. Kinyendera kimu obusoma nyo.
It's only that it so happened that some members were not favorable with me doing the work.
Tractor has only done 51% of the work.
61?
51.
51, I have seen him starting to put on maram.
Yes.
Can you put maram on a road which is narrow like that here?
And Honorable,
Who is no caravans, no drainage, nothing.
Honorable, the works are still ongoing, and it is true we are implementing a district road class 2, which has details as per
No.
list of works.
7 meters of a road.
7 meters.
No, including 1.5.
It means 7.
Carriageway is
1.2,
5.4.
5.4, yes.
Yes, carriageway is, I have documents here.
Yes, yes.
Carriageway is 5.4.
Yes.
With drainage and maram.
Yeah.
With the district engineer, Dr. Deputy Engineer and the district engineer got the message. And the reason why the work is short is done, some people even report cars.
The leaders informed Nabanja that the contractor is arrogant and not cooperative.
Road is not fully, it was not done perfectly, and really it made us feel like the project were cheated somehow because of the contractor and our supervisors, the district engineers.
First of all, they are very arrogant with the district leaders. They are very arrogant with the district leaders. When the district leaders are the one who employed them, you are a staff of the district. Can you be arrogant against the chairman district who has employed you? And the contractor, you are given contract by the district. You are arrogant.
Here, Nabanja called upon the contractor to explain why he's doing shoddy work.
Honorable, we don't have any problem. It's only that it so happened that some members were not favorable with me doing the work. Usually contracts are awarded by the district. Now for this project, and it is through your office,
Nabanja terminated the contract due to shoddy workmanship exhibited.
The people who want to do work, and he must account for the money he has already received. The work he has done must be commensurate with the money he has been paid. And if it's not, we shall arrest you. I want the engineer for Dr. Deep. Your contract is also terminated. If you want to work with the Prime Minister's office, please do the best. Museveni akoye abantu abatangala akola ababbi. The president is struggling to get money. By the way, some of the money is a loan.
Today, the Dr. Deep engineer immediately, tomorrow, Monday, must report to Kampala. I'm going to verify his qualifications, whether he's really an engineer. Because I'm the patron of Uganda institutions of professional engineers.
Yeah, everything we work according to the contract. But the most important thing is that usually contracts issued in the district are being handled by the district leadership. Now, unfortunate for this program, these contracts have been handled by the people on the ground. So the district leadership didn't have any opportunity to participate into awarding the contract. So I happened to be the best evaluated contractor among the bidding. Now, so many were very disappointed because they wanted these things to be handled at their level. But we continue to work. As I'm talking now, you'll come, I'll show you the contract agreement. The carriageway for the road is 5.4. And the gund is 7 meters, the width of the road. The road is 40 kilometers. And that's what I've been doing.
Earlier, Nabanja paid an impromptu visit to a construction site of Chegegwa District Headquarters, which is still underway. While in the district, Nabanja also visited Chegegwa Hospital that was recently elevated from Health Center 4 to a hospital. Helen Barbara Jizamba reporting for UBC TV News.
Now, residents of SEBEI in KAMWENGE district are being advised to protect themselves against PONDOCONIOSIS, an infection that causes swelling of the lower limbs after getting into contact with volcanic soils. An estimated 1,500 persons are reportedly affected by the disease that presently has no cure, but can be prevented through putting on footwear. These are the details.
KAMWENGE district is one of the regions with soils that contain a mineral content that causes a painful swelling of lower limbs among human beings. According to KAMWENGE district health officials, at least every family in Busiriba sub-county has a relative or a friend battling podoconiosis, a condition similar to elephantiasis.
In KAMWENGE district, most particularly Greater Busiriba sub-county, it began as a small health problem, but gradually expanded and has become health hazard, as you can witness.
The district kandi obutwagana na Ministry of Health kandi obutwagana na kitongole ekya NCO kya World Health Organization katweleka nti obwere buno butalabiriza abantu ba Busiriba na KAMWENGE district nubiletwa minerals omwitaka
konka turashashanima munonga ensi yitu ni kweli turabasa kurugamo omwonyo byo mwitaka so turadakureba ko twakwatanisa imwe abantu baburijwe n'abebembezi na government okureba mugaba ya.
The swelling of the lower limbs is painful, renders affected persons unable to walk and even move.
Ndahurugwa kutandikira mu bigero kwika mu majumu ndahurugwa amaguru gazimbe ubwira ubugara baganye mushira gazimbira kimwe n'abandi arahinga
ndika kushasha amaguru kuna bambe umubi na amaguru kunata kunabaga ndahinga kurira garashasha kuna yimuka gashanga gazimbire
kugira ngo babaganga ati namanyero kano mandaza mu bashabisi.
Prime Minister Robina Nabanja, who was in the area at the invitation of the woman member of parliament KAMWENGE district, Sylvia Baherere, and district health officials, has now intervened and promises government's action. Nabanja says government will provide victims with 2 pairs of gumboots and salt as the first preventive measure.
Ati habwa government ya Uganda batata na bamama wa Museveni tukuja kubahereza gambuti bibiri buli muntu bize gambuti 10 kujazi kwasa kao akwatagana na DHO amakuru asibanyu bazirorerere cyamanyero C5 na abandi zigeze bayikeho bakuwe mu bagamenye bakangamba ibiri ekindi tukuja kubawereza sabuni asaha ziri n'omunyu babahereze sabuni n'omunyu emitwale ena mu muntu tukaba bakati abali ku muntu kubaete demonstrating
Sylvia Baherera and the district health officials thanked Nabanja for the timely visit, adding that it will soothe the affected persons who are no longer at peace with themselves.
It has been very relevant for the Prime Minister to come to KAMWENGE district because of the podoconiosis disease, which is not yet fully recognized by the Ministry of Health as one of the non-communicable diseases and the neglected tropical diseases that need attention. So we had to call her here as leaders of KAMWENGE district so that she can see the magnitude of the disease, how it is indeed a big health threat because people's limbs swelling is increasing at a fast rate. And once the limbs are swollen, it compromises the level of their daily activities.
Affected persons are ostracized, they have to beg in order to survive, and community members believe they are in such conditions because of a generational curse. Now, residents want government to create community awareness and regular sensitization about the causes and prevention of the swelling condition. Helen Barbara Gizamba, reporting for UBC TV News.
Now, residents in Kanyangea and Chondo in Kasese municipality have asked the government to speed up the issue of desilting River NYAMWAMBA as measures of controlling the continuous flooding of waters in their homes. Since the floods that devastated Kasese district, Kanyangea and Chondo cells have been hot spots for high volumes of water whose source has not been clearly established. And these are the details.
Residents of Kanyangea and Chondo cells in Kasese municipality are still stranded after River NYAMWAMBA waters submerged their houses. Residents want the riverbed desilted and the banks raised to stop the flooding.
NYAMWAMBA yajudde kiro emaze okuba side ye Kanyangea yonna egenda kutwetoloola. Kati mbadde nsaba gavumenti okutandika n'olwaleero nga nsaba nti eraba okusaba kwaffe naye ekitali ekyo Kanyangea yonna n'Ekyondo tugenda okuggwaawo.
Kasese chairperson Erifaz Mohindi noted that the government is committed to sorting out this matter soon.
The floods have not yet come to an end. Government has come up with a deliberate plan of desilting the river, and the river has been phased into 3 sections. One section is from Chanjuchi going upwards. Another section is from Chanjuchi coming down to Katiri and the lower part. Then another section is from the bridge going up to the national park. And 5 days ago, the district disaster prepared committee moved in the field. I personally moved with the chief administrative officer, the people concerned, and we had to walk the river itself in the waters and moved up to the bridge of the railway line, and we found the whole place was silted.
The annual flooding of River NYAMWAMBA has affected over 300 households in Kasese municipality. Most have lost property, including houses, crops, among others. Amina Nabule Kajimu, UBC TV.
The Parliamentary Committee on Gender, Labour and Social Development has been told of an increase in gender-based violence cases in SEBEI sub-region. Now, during their visit to KAMWENGE district, the legislator led by the Minister of State for Gender and Culture, Peace Mutuzo, pledged to support the End to Violence initiatives. KAMWENGE GBV shelter serves and receives cases from all districts within the SEBEI region.
Established in July 2012, the KAMWENGE Gender, Labour and Social Development Shelter provides response services to gender-based violence survivors in Uganda. The Parliamentary Committee on Gender, Labour and Social Development, led by the State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Peace Mutuzo, visited the shelter. The caretakers say the most common form of gender-based violence are men land disputes, domestic violence, and female genital mutilation.
The costs of the shelter are overwhelming, such that the meager resources within the district may not address all the requirements for the shelter.
The outbreak of COVID-19 and its restrictions had far-reaching consequences with noticeable increase of gender-based violence rises, but low levels of reporting due to challenges of mobility.
And this has gone from time immemorial, whereby the women are still being downlooked in the community. Kapchola
leaders want government to take lead in planning, prioritizing and budgeting for social care services as well as gender-based violence response services.
Once we zero on this, then we shall be able to overcome this practice.
Issue of FGM matters has been minimized, but in some deeper places, it is still a challenge. During birth, because in most cases some of our mothers do not deliver in the health units.
Young girls here also want government to consider investing, empowering and educating girl child to end gender-based violence in the region.
I recommend that government should try to prioritize and allocate funding for gender-based violence or women protection centers across the country in a bid to eliminate gender-based violence to sustain access to services.
The Parliamentary Committee on Gender, Labour and Social Development pledged to ensure gender-based violence ends in the region and the entire country.
Development is not about objects, it is about the people. We need the people more, they are the primary source. And therefore, if we have to secure any future, we are not securing the future of the road and the electricity pole. We must secure the future of the people of Uganda.
Cross-border FGM. I think it begins with a mindset. By the time people walk on their own and carry a child who knows that she's going to be cut, and she also keeps it a secret.
Edwin Yachwara, UBC News.
Furthermore, Chisoro District Council and leadership has resolved to give out 168 acres of land worth 83 billion to the Ministry of Education for the construction of John Kale Institute of Science and Technology to fulfill the 2015 presidential pledge after those who claim ownership of the land agreed on receiving 6.83 as compensation. This comes 1 month after President Museveni Yoweri Kaguta ordered the Prime Minister Robina Nabanja to intervene on the issues of John Kale Institute of Science and Technology in Chisoro District.
For the promoters of John Kale Institute of Science and Technology, there is light at the end of the tunnel. In a recent meeting of land claimants and district councillors chaired by Chisoro District Speaker Amos Hakizimana, claimants agreed to be compensated with 6.83 billion.
Put for compensation and have our people compensated. Then finally they commence the construction of Kale Institute of Science and Technology.
The chairman, Rivovo Village, Odon Mbonipa, who also doubles as the chairperson, Nyakabande farmers in this area, said the land should have been sold at 25 billion, but due to the love they have for the institution, they settled on 6.83 billion.
Ikibazo kiri kubazwa n'ibyavuzwe nari kubyumva ngo agace kamwe k'itaka mbene ryose iri taka mu gihe ryari mu ntonganye kandi niyo institute tumaze kwemeranya ngo ize hano hagati y'abaturage ba Nyakabande n'abacahi kuko nari bukazimiri yabivuze ntari Nyakabande gusa habayeho impande itatu kwemeranya muri ubu buryo.
International We Love You Foundation has carried out a voluntary activity of blood donation at Nakasero Blood Bank. The donation was aimed at sharing life and helping one another in a situation where some people are unable to have.
International We Love You Foundation is a non-government organization based in South Korea headed by Zangil Jal, the founder. In Uganda, the International We Love You Foundation has carried out different volunteer activities such as cleanup campaigns, COVID-19 relief and also healthcare relief like blood donation. The International We Love You Foundation has paid a courtesy visit to Uganda Blood Bank Nakasero to donate blood as one of its mandate. Having originated in the 1990s and launched in 2001, the organization has over 300 participants in 64 countries.
The International We Love You Foundation follows the example set by the chairwoman, and that is to go to the world and deliver the love, care and concern of our mother. So today what we are carrying out is health care, relief or volunteer activity, that is blood donation. The reason why we are donating the blood is in the global community, it's like being torn apart. But through the love of a mother, we are bound together to be united and to love our neighbors and the groups around us. All this we follow the example set by Zangija, the chairwoman of the International We Love You Foundation.
Nabasuja Josephine, also a member of the International We Love You Foundation, says donating blood is crucial, especially to women who are giving life.
Many people are becoming individualistic. They don't mind about their neighbors' happiness, even though everyone wants to be happy. So what the International We Love You Foundation aims at is to promote peace and also a healthy life in the society to all the people.
She says it's such an opportunity to donate blood and asked able Ugandans to adopt the gesture. Members of the International We Love You Foundation were first passed through the process one requires in donating blood, and later eligible ones donated blood. Samuel David Wante says Nakasero Blood Bank has been greatly supported by Buganda Kingdom, and this has registered quantity of blood donated, hence minimizing blood scarcity.
We would encourage the general public to come up and donate blood whenever they find a donation point. Don't say you don't have enough blood to donate. Don't say you don't have enough blood to donate until a health personnel from Uganda Blood Transfusion Services has assessed you and prove that you either don't have enough or you have enough to donate.
He, however, warned the sale of blood by medical workers and asked the public to report such cases so that the culprits are handled. Service above self is what has been exhibited by the International We Love You Foundation. Sudat Kai, UBC.
In another development, Makerere University College of Health Sciences is concerned about the increasing number of repeat adolescent births, especially in eastern Uganda. Repeat adolescent birth is where a teenager who gives birth before the age of 18 goes ahead to bear another child, or even children before the age of 20. More details in this story.
According to research conducted by Dr. Dina Amwang, a PhD scholar at Makerere University College of Health Sciences, 1 in 2 girls who have had first birth below the age of 18 proceed to have another birth before they make 20 years, and this is termed as repeat adolescent birth. According to Makerere University College of Health Sciences, repeat births have negative consequences to both the mothers and children, one of them being premature births and low birth weight. Extreme poverty in homes has been pointed out as one of the motivating factors behind repeat adolescent births.
Scholastic material, even just the school fees. And this was made worse because of the peasantry background, because of high alcohol consumption by the fathers in the homes that depleted even the little resources. So because of lack of these basic needs, they say, they had to get male sexual partners so as to bridge this gap, get little money, as much as 3,500 or even 2,000 shillings.
Ministry of Health is, however, concerned that adolescent births impact negatively on the country's health indicators.
Adolescents, their bodies are not yet prepared to get pregnant. So most of these pregnancies end up with complications, end up with poor outcomes. And we have seen that in our audits of maternal death, that quite a number of deaths, around almost a third, are women in the lower ages, that's 24 and below. So getting pregnant at an early age exposes you to the risk of maternal death. We have also seen that most of these young ladies who get pregnant actually try out abortion.
The report highlights provision of birth control methods, school continuation policy, and fighting household poverty as one of the solutions to curbing repeat adolescent births. Adiana Kote, UBC.
In another development, the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Yamongi, has warned babies' homes against the escalating cases of forced child adoption. Amongi, who was checking the status of Lira Babies' home, said that some homes had begun selling off babies and their organs.
After realizing several challenges that Lira Babies Home is facing currently due to the revenue shortfalls resulting from COVID-19 containment measures, Amongi promised to include Babies Homes in the forthcoming budget through subvention funding. Lira Babies Home is one of the alternative care homes in the country, founded by the Catholic community of Lira Diocese in 1969 and is approved by Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development to accommodate 50 babies. But currently, the home is grappling with several challenges, including revenue shortfalls due to COVID-19 that has greatly affected the support from well-wishers because of travel restriction and insecurity due to lack of perimeter fencing.
In the home, our home is not really fenced well, so you find several times we can be threatened, and you know the cases we are handling, they are delicate cases. If you find that what is around us is not protected, then you find the home is at risk.
However, on our visit to the home, the Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amoy, promised to include all babies home in the forthcoming budget.
Because while we recognize that they are either faith-based or they are NGOs, as government, there are certain capital expenditure that requires support from government. And I'm happy that today I've been able to understand the work they have done. I've been able to know their challenges, and I have pledged to them that I will be able, together with the report from the other sub-region, we shall be able to support them.
Amongi also cautioned babies' homes against false adoption.
It's a racket that takes children abroad for sale, and it is so dangerous that it had even not only reached Uganda, but of all the places, even in Lango, that now somebody can decide to sell their child to a person. It is really something which is not for humanity.
Is pathetic, it is terrible. From a very young age, a child is driven to depend on somebody else who stands in front of the child and tells the child, I know it all. And I think that's where we are coming into these challenges, that when a young mother happens to suddenly, by whatever mistake, get a baby, because now he or she cannot think on her own, the boy also cannot think on their own, the next thing is just about it.
In this case, the children who are kept here, some of them innocently came into this world through reckless means and abandoned. Every individual has a responsibility towards building the nation, but not giving burden to the nation.
Lira Babies Home is currently taking care of 9 babies at the facility and 24 under family basic care, while 7 have been reunified with their families. Ediolwa for UBC News in Lira City.
Thank you, Ediola. Now, a section of border cyclists and the business community in KAGADI Town Council are demanding authorities to revise taxes levied on them for their business activities, which they vowed to boycott. Now, the cyclists and traders say the tax collectors have made their business difficult, as what they levy on their businesses is much more than the profits they earn from their enterprises, adding that they just park at their respective stages with no customers due to COVID-19 pandemic and the lockdown.
Border cyclists and the business community in KAGADI Town Council are willing to pay taxes equal to the services they get from their town council. The chairperson, KAGADI Border Association, Amza Ategeka, explains that as much as they are willing to pay fees, they also need equitable service distribution.
KAGADI Town Council bogendo okarora nkoku egereka imisoro yayo okarora n'obwire bwa corona buni okwesanga nti omuntu anyigirizibwe muno somba inensaba nka government ya district KAGADI oba na town council zirole abantu baizo basobole kendeze emisolo eyo.
A trader in KAGADI Town Council, Kasigazi Wilberforce, says the town council authorities extort money from traders. A hotel owner identified as Caroline Katusabe urges town council authorities to reduce taxes as well as offering them other services they lack, like electricity. KAGADI Town Council LC3 Chairman Geoffrey Businge says the town clerk Geoffrey Mugisa and the Chief Revenue Officer Justin Asimwe are on the ground to ensure fairness in tax collection.
It is not only here, it is countrywide, if not worldwide. Taxes are a challenge, especially in enumeration, in assessment. So, but for us, we have a committee responsible for assessment and revenue collection. And we have told them to try as much as possible to be fair and to follow the guidelines that are issued to us by the Ministry of Trade and Industry. We have guidelines which are supposed to follow, and every person, every business has a category. And we are trying to ensure that those categories are followed well.
Furthermore, a section of residents living on various landing sites of Lake Albert are seeking help over the devastating floods that have damaged their property and houses. The chairperson of Local Council 3 Ndaiga, Sub-County KAGADI District, Oscar Chinyai, says that there are several accidents that are occurring as a result of floods that have continually hit landing sites of Chitebere, Ndagia, Sangwaro, and Nguse.
Since last year, there has been frequent floods that continue to damage houses, property, as well as causing death among Lake Albert shoreline communities. The affected communities now want government food and non-food items assistance. A section of Congolese fishermen and women living in Chitebere, Ndaiga and Nguse landing sites say that since the onset of the heavy rains early this year, they have lost property worth millions of shillings. Leaders of Chitebere and Ndaiga along Lake Albert shores are now calling for a quick fix of the situation that might involve vacating the flood plans.
Hapa tuko na mashida ya maji sana, inatuzia sana nyumba yetu hapa yote inalisa kuvunja hapa. Sasa bado maji naongezeka na sisi vile tutalia kweli kutoka kwa government yakuja tusaidie vile. Naona sisi kwa vile wakahaji ya hapa hivi ya Uganda. Sasa ile ndio nini kikubwa wangu sana kinyume na udilia kwa government ndio ile kwa maji yanatuzia sana hapa.
Amaizi gano kuija sikira nje ya buri maguhoire 10 ne kugwa saha zenu. So maizi gano garuge mu mitanka 15 gatembere kandi kayini hizantu line ya majuga nugono kuhondera uganugona uje kuteko koleki erugeho.
Amina Nabule Kajimu, UBC TV.
So we'll now take a short commercial break and be back with business news. Please stay tuned. Do not go far.
I smile when I think of you, Uganda, my home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda, my home. Oh, my Uganda.
I know, with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home. My heart, mommy, oh my Uganda.
Hey, mama.
At MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
Five times the winning, yeah. 5 times the happiness, yeah. 5 times the luckiness, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5. 5 times the money, yeah. 5 times the shopping, yeah. 5 times the prizes, yeah. 5 for 5, oh yeah. It's 5 for 5. 5 for 5.
Win 100,000 Uganda shillings weekly in the 5 for 5 jackpot. Simply download the Center mobile app. Click Center on the go to open your account online. Transact 5 times or more using Center mobile, Center Visa, and Center agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. So, participate in the 5 for 5 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 5 for 5 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank. Our bank. Centenary Bank is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
alert! Do not share your Airtel Money PIN number with anyone. Airtel Uganda employees will never ask for your Airtel Money PIN number on call, SMS, or by email. All SIM card registrations, SIM card verifications, or SIM swaps are done at clearly branded Airtel shops and not on phone. To report any fraudulent activity, please call 100 immediately. The official calling number for Airtel promotions is 0200 100 100. Stay alert on Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Brought to you by
Transact 5 times or more using Center Mobile, Center Visa, and Center Agent to stand a chance to win. The more you transact, the higher your chances of winning. So, participate in the 545 jackpot and win millions in daily and weekly prizes. The 545 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank, our bank.
And yes, you're still live on UBC television. We now take you to the world of business. Tea farmers in Kabarole district are calling for government to intervene in the regulation of tea prices. Tea farmers claim that they are affected by the continuous price fluctuations. We take a look.
Tea farming in Kabarole district is a major economic activity supporting individuals and companies. However, the business is currently at stake following a reduction in tea prices, hence affecting farmers.
Twine kizibu kya majani emihendo niyaguma nisirimuka buli kairi hati sazi na majani gadibire kimu
imihendo ya majani garukira hansi abwensonga ya akatale kagarukira hansi kandi amajani tugaine ito abalimi galoho kyonka akatale kagaruka hansi.
Tea prices have drastically reduced from 600 shillings to 250 shillings per kilogram of green leaf.
Ya majani miaka yenyuma tumetugwa kilo singiru kaga pesa azinu kilo majani kilo singiru 205 singiru 3 kandi tunihera season y'injobe cyo kutandika ubu gasokole mlaki muno kutundu so ntusaba obaraba lo government kutungira umulingo guona ugamba bakatungira katale akali stable government tuyambe ikigarukira hansi muno cyaleto umulimi nalemwa kugira obusobozi bwo kuteka mu manure no mukozi hata obusobozi bubabuke so kusaba ko itukulingu ntusaba amakuru gandi gaija aga government aga abantu government eteke mu mkono amakuru gaija kandi nakatali kabeho.
The problem has prompted some farmers to abandon tea growing and resort to growing cat, commonly known as mairungi.
Hata umulimo wa mairungi na agoro wa majani habwensonga omuteko ngutandikira silingi 10 no kutemba higuru kandi kilo ya majani ira 205.
Stephen Kagwera, the member of parliament for Buraha County, has asked government to consider giving subsidies to farmers to meet the cost.
When you look at tea, the prices have gone down, yet the manure and other things have not gone down. The salary of the clerk has not gone down. The machinery in the factories have not gone down. I think if we consider the issue of subsidy to the farmers, that one would be in the right direction.
The woman member of parliament for Kabarole district, Victoria Businje Rusoke, is advising farmers to embrace government's parish development model to start other quick side businesses.
Government inaja kutombekera amakora makoto agarkweta industrial park. Nuho turkwiza kuongera birimwa byaito mutindo ebichori bisibwe bipakirwe kurungi tubitunde sente nuje semerire entache yonge.
Now, the business community in Arua has tasked Uganda Revenue Authority to embrace growth of local businesses so that the tax base can be widened through taxpayer compliances. Now, this follows several complaints by the business operators and in Arua who complained of unfair assessments, brutality in the process of collecting taxes, unfair charges on a number of plates for bikes, and poor code of conduct in dealing with smuggled goods into the country. This was during a Baraza meeting URA organized in the Arua business community on the benefits of electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution in Arua City.
Use of force in tax collection processes and the need to boost growing businesses are some of the challenges identified by the business community in Arua.
Now, brutalizing the business community
Just this morning, I got a call from somebody from Kabiri cell that a boy was carrying wheat flour, just a packet. URA office was banned with this guy beating badly, and the case is in police. Not everything people carry on their motorcycles is a smuggled good.
The chairman of Uganda Chamber of Commerce and Industry for the Greater Arua Sub-Region, who is also the Member of Parliament, Arua Central Division, and chairman of Arua Business Community, Moses Obeta, said many businesses have collapsed in Arua due to tax burden.
Asking URA to take keen note of growing businesses, so that the tax that the businesses are supposed to pay comes with ease. You know, many times, because of the price of the tax payment and the burden being so much, many businesses collapse and they go out. Let us take whatever it may cost to get a lot more of these businesses grow. Let you take the initiative of being of value to the business persons than of being a burden.
The Mayor Aivu Division, Maron Avutia, requested URA to design payment of number plates for motorcycles in installments, as both literate and illiterate unemployed youths have ventured into the border industry.
Tax on motorcycle number plates, that is exorbitant. You cannot pay 1 million or 1,500,000 for a number plate of a motorcycle. We want everybody to have number plates. But, you know, we are a poor community. This region has been hit by wars.
Arua Customs Officer Alex Mwagi says it is not URA soldiers doing that, but because the authorities do not collect hard cash from the clients. URA's tax literacy officer Hasfa Segaya appreciated the Arua business community for identifying such gaps and promised to improve service for the people. IFRIS is the Domestic Revenue Mobilization Program for URA aimed at addressing tax administration challenges relating to business transactions and receipts, as the innovation saves time during payment of taxes.
Was brought to you by
The 5 for 5 jackpot is brought to you by Centenary Bank, our bank.
Experience 100% 4G speeds across Uganda with the Airtel 4G Pocket Wi-Fi available at 123,000 shillings only. It comes with a backup battery and 15 GB free for 1 month. Visit the nearest Airtel shop, device selling shop or Airtel online shop. www.airtel.co.ug/broadband-discover. Airtel, the smartphone network.
The Uganda Cancer Institute, together with the Palliative Care Association of Uganda, will host the 3rd Uganda Conference on Cancer and Palliative Care from the 23rd to the 24th of September 2021 on the theme Cancer and Palliative Care in COVID-19 and Other Challenging Situations. The conference will be held virtually with some sessions broadcast live on UBC TV plus workshops at hospitals to bring together at least 400 stakeholders. The Prime Minister of Uganda will be chief guest at the opening session, and there will be a keynote address by the Director General of the World Health Organization. To participate, register through https://conference.uci.or.ug/ at 200,000 shillings only for Ugandan delegates. Upcountry delegates will attend through satellite facilities at regional referral hospitals, hospices and palliative care organization centers and referral cancer centers. For more information, call 0392 080 713 or 0414 540 410. Email conference@uci.or.ug or conference@pcau.org.ug.
My home, I smile when I think of you, Uganda. My home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda. My home, oh my Uganda.
I know with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home, under the sun so bright, under the moon
At MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. We now take you to the international news. The 2021 Election Committee's subsector ordinary elections in China's Hong Kong Special Administrative Region started on Sunday morning, the first election after the city improved the electoral system earlier this year. The voting hours of the elections at 5 ordinary polling stations and 1 dedicated polling station across Hong Kong began at 9 a.m. and will end at 1800 hours local time. On March 11th this year, a decision on improving the Electoral Commission of the HKSAR was adopted by an overwhelming majority vote at the 4th session of the 13th National People's Congress. According to the decision, the election committee expanded to 1,500 members of 5 sectors and is responsible for electing the chief executive designate and part of the Legislative Council, which is the LEGCO members, as well as the nominating for candidates and the chief executive and LEGCO members. Out of the 1,500 seats of the election committee, 325 people were determined to be validly registered as ex-officio members. 156 persons were validly nominated to be members of the election committee, and 603 candidates would be uncontested, while 412 candidates would contest for 364 seats. The actual number of members of the election committee will be fewer than 1,500 due to the LEGCO election yet to be held and the overlapping status of some ex-officio members. And then in another development, family members and relatives of victims in the U.S. drone strike in late August in Kabul of Afghanistan are calling for punishment to the perpetrator of the incident. The U.S. military admitted on Friday that the deadly strike, which killed as many as 10 civilians, including 7 children, was a tragic mistake. The tragedy took place on August 29th when the owner of the house, Zemarai Ahmadi, a 43-year-old electrical engineer working for Nutrition and Education International, a U.S. aid group based in Pasadena, California, was pulling into his own yard. Family members and relatives of the victims came back to the bombed house, saying that they are hoping to have their sad but true story heard by the whole world. Rumal Ahmadi, a younger brother of Zamarai, has also lost all his children in the deadly incident. The U.S. Central Command said on August 29th that it launched a drone strike on a vehicle in Kabul, which it claimed had eliminated an imminent threat posed by the ISIS and Afghanistan-based offshoot of the Islamic State to the Hamid Karzai International Airport, where evacuations of U.S. service members and personnel were underway.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.
I smile when I think of you, Uganda, my home. My home, I dance when I look at you, Uganda, my home. Oh, my Uganda.
I know with you I'll always stay forever. I know, because I feel that we belong together. My home. On my heart, mommy, oh my Uganda.
Hey,
MTN, we look forward to starting another exciting journey together to grow our home, Uganda.
And now in sports news, Uganda Revenue Authority have beaten Ethiopian Coffee in Bahir Dar to complete a remarkable double that has sent them through to the penultimate round on course to the group stages of the CAF Confederation Cup. Carrying a 2-1 advantage and from the first leg at Chitende, Sam Timber's men needed just to avoid defeat to set up a date with Egypt's Al Masry. But they went ahead and won the match with a super convincing score away from home. After starting the first leg on the bench, striker Cromwell Rothomio repaid his coach's faith and handed a start with a superb opener in the 40th minute, a goal that strongly put URA into the driving seat.
Yes, I'm happy because the players followed the instructions, and once they did, they knew what to do. At times when you explain and you don't direct them on the field, or nonetheless, even you find the senior teams, in the Premier League, you find Guardiola trying to shout, because the players, when they're in the action, they need to be reminded. And together, because you may shout and they're not responding. So they responded well, and we achieved the victory.
National Council of Sports Board Chairperson Donald Rukare has promised concerted effort to promote all sports disciplines, especially those that prove resolve to persevere in the pursuit for excellence. He was at the official opening of the 2021 All-Stars Baseball Championship at the Uganda Baseball Little League Baseball and AVRS School in Nachirebe.
The Pioneer All-Stars Baseball Championship at the Uganda Baseball League and AVRS School in Nakirebe has officially been opened by National Council of Sports Board Chairperson Donald Rukare.
And it's very clear that there's talent, and we'd like to thank a number of people, the AVS team here in Little League, Stanley and Allen, together with the LA Dodgers, Will and Mike, who provided this facility, and also provided technical assistance to a number of the players. And it's very clear that the game of baseball in Uganda is growing. We have immense talent, and we at both the UOC and NCS would like to see how we can continue supporting such team events. We call upon all the different stakeholders, the private sector, government, to get more involved with this, because this sport has the potential to provide very good pathways for a lot of the young athletes here. We have seen between the ages of 12 all the way to 14, 15, and they really have immense talent.
The tournament has 6 teams, including Renzori, Elgon, Karuma and Nile, with Uganda Baseball and Softball Association seeking a national team.
Uganda Baseball and Softball Association, we are faring well. On the international scene, we are ranked number 2 in Africa, and we are second to South Africa. But with this championship, we are going to come out with our best of the best, who will be forming our national team. And we believe with the preparations we are preparing for the World Cup qualifiers, we will be in position to be the African qualifying nation in the World Cup. That is coming very, very soon.
The association targets several tournaments, but sights are set on the Olympics in 2028, which, by virtue of being hosted in America, will feature baseball.
Baseball is all over Uganda. Like I said, in this championship, we have players coming from Leptong, we have star players coming from Arua, we have star players coming from Lira City, we have players coming from Soroti City, we have players coming from Jinja City, we have players coming from Lugazi, we have players coming from as far as Entebbe, in the entire metropolitan of Kampala, we have players from Nansana, we have players from Gayaza, where our national stadium is, we have players from Zambia, we have players from Chambogo Banda area, and the sport is being played well at a high quality of sport.
In today's game that preceded the opening ceremony, Choga whipped Nile Baseball Club. John Burns, Sentamo, reporting.
Well, and doesn't that bring us to the end of our bulletin this evening? Thank you for being a very lovely audience. My name is Wadulo Marl Arnold, and I must say, have yourselves a lovely week, because it's already way past our time. Good night.
UBC, once again with your weather update. A little recap: we saw a lot of rainfall yesterday in most parts of the country, and this was influenced due to the high which is sitting over Atlantica known as St. Helena, in combination with the high sitting over Indian Ocean known as Mascaline. In combination of the two, they pushed a lot of moist winds towards our country, bringing us the rainfall that we experienced yesterday. Though today we see a weakness in them, that doesn't mean that we are not going to get rainfall. We are still having a rain belt sitting over most parts of our country in combination with local effects. It's to bring us isolated thunder showers in most parts of the country. That brings us to the sunny intervals that we're going to wake up with tomorrow in most parts of the country, apart from some few areas in the Lake Victoria. They expect to have light showers. Afternoon hour though, we expect a pick up of thunder showers almost in every part of our country, apart from some few areas in southwestern of our region. They expect to have sunny intervals. Temperature raise up to 28 degrees of Celsius in most parts of the country, apart from Pasesa, which is going to where we are seeing 29, 27 around lake shores, including our capital city Kampala, and 24 that is across Kabale Highlands. News moving out of our country, touring other cities across the globe with the few that we have got for you. We are seeing a sunny intervals across in Nairobi, cloud conditions in London, in Dubai with sunny conditions, Moscow and Paris with light thunder showers with a low temperature across Moscow of 0.6 degrees Celsius. Thanks for tuning on UBC. I remain Kutesa Mili. Stay tuned and see you.
Echa COVID-19 chijja kugwa only if we stay at home, observe physical distancing, wear masks properly, sanitize or wash our hands with soap and water regularly, or get vaccinated now.